Hi guys, welcome everyone. I'm Just Raj and he's Darsh and we are from team Inspire India.
Today, I am joined by the founder of Arogi, Bhargav, and also the head of finance, Devansh. We are going to be speaking about Arogi Foundation and what they do. Basically, Arogi Foundation is an NGO that works for the betterment and development of children. They align with the SDG goals, specifically 3 and 4, and they work for the development of children. What they do is they help children celebrate their special days, which is their birthday, but they also provide them with basic necessities and even career counseling so that they can help build community and empower these children. So let's dive right into this. Tell us about Arogi.
So I would say that Arogi is a charitable organization, right? And we care for the well-being of orphans. So our primary goal is celebrating the birthdays of them, and being there for them on their special day.
That's a wonderful idea.
Thank you. And this idea basically was conceived about 1.5, 2 years ago. That was when I was visiting one of the orphanages, right? And I was donating books basically, and I witnessed something out of the ordinary. There was a birthday celebration. An
Okay.
outsider was celebrating his birthday in the orphanage.
Oh, wow.
Well, there was celebration, there was cake, and which kid wouldn't be happy when there's celebration and cake?
Of course.
But I really couldn't find a gleam in those faces. They were sad. I couldn't figure out why. That's when I realized that they're not as privileged as us to celebrate their own birthdays. That's when I thought, why not turn the tables, go a mile ahead, and celebrate their birthdays instead of ours? And this could actually mean a big thing in their childhood. That's why, to make a remark, to make an impact in their lives, I started the Arogi Foundation, and it went on.
So you said you started a year ago. So how has it been? Have you had any obstacles? How has society been reactive to this?
Or like rather, when you started off with your plan, what hindrances did you have when you started off, or like did you face any obstacles as you mentioned? Or let's say, how did you basically structure your operation so that you could proceed with it?
Yeah. So, as any entre-
Entrepreneur.
as any entrepreneur, I had obstacles too, because this is a social entrepreneur job, right? And at the start, we had a shortage of volunteers. So to actually celebrate the birthdays, we didn't have enough volunteers to actually show up on that day. So me and a few friends went ahead and celebrated the first birthday that made our first impact. That was our debut birthday celebration. So definitely that's one obstacle. And number two, there was a shortage of funds at the start. However, right now we've coped up and gotten good amount of funds to actually celebrate birthdays each month through fundraising and several activities. That Devansh, he's our budget lead, head of finance basically. So he works on the finance and stuff like that, right?
So just interrupt. Basically, hello, Devansh. I handle the finances here at Arogi, and what I'm trying to put out here is that when we started, the main challenge we faced was getting the funding, as you mentioned, right? The way we overcame that challenge was by using a lot of easy marketing tips on social media like Instagram. And I think the easiest way we could overcome the challenge was by contacting our friends, because your friends at the end of the day will be helping you out on the volunteer list. And I think our relatives were really supportive of this idea, so we got a head start that way. And technically we were neighbors, so I think we kind of conceived this idea at his home, and then we kind of started at that.
So what kind of challenges do often children usually face when they come across
I
such
think it's
situations?
mainly that people don't view them as human beings, but more as an outlet to feel gratitude towards themselves. I think it's I donated to an orphan rather than I made
More
that
of a thing that you can brag about.
yeah,
exactly.
it's become more of a tagline that I donated today rather than actually spending time. And the reason he said that the child didn't feel happy was more of a deep issue where society believes that we should donate, but society does not donate its time, but more of its money, which I think that's what we're trying to change here. So we take people's funds, but we donate our time towards these people.
So it's more like how they, they usually feel like a liability, but
Yes,
with Arogi, we are here to bring about a change in that.
exactly.
So based on what you said and our previous conversation, I heard you have close to 60 volunteers, right?
Yeah.
And that was a big obstacle for you. So how have you been able to attract these volunteers and how have you inspired people?
So primarily, our objective was to gain volunteers at the start, right? Because
Yeah.
as I told you, there was a shortage. So through our Instagram reach, which our Instagram lead, Advika, she has made a phenomenal job, and our other leaders as well, to get more reach, more followers on Instagram, to attract the 16 and 17-year-olds to join our organization.
And I think the main thing that a lot of people look for is how they grow and how they help society grow. I think Arogi offers that area of showcasing your talent in that way by offering so many various roles that you can kind of grow also not only individually, but you can also help your surroundings grow. And I think even if you're looking to increase your area of expertise or you're looking to impress a certain university or college, at the end of the day, you're contributing to society. And that's where most of the people we received were inspired to.
Though Devang stated that impressing college is a way of contributing to society, I guess I would like to beg to differ. So primarily, our main focus is contributing to the society, no matter what you do. But taking the cause of university applications is more of a selfish interest rather than doing good to the society. Like we spoke about earlier, right? Like I'm doing this and I'm getting an outcome based on this. So I feel like we should contribute to giving back to the society without any selfish interest. The outcomes doesn't matter. It's all about what you put out and what you
The
give.
effort counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agree to disagree. But that's all friendship in there. But basically, that's pretty much it. I think we kind of overcame our obstacles to getting volunteers by mainly doing very smart marketing on Instagram, plus offering benefits like, you get to improve while you help society improve. That's kind of the motto that Arogi stands for. The reason I mentioned college applicants is because many people like to grow personally also, right? It's not a selfish interest, but more of an interest where I would like to grow. But it gives me an incentive to work further.
Fair.
Exactly.
Since you're head of finance, I do want to ask how do you fund all of your operations and your activities?
So at start, our funding came from chachas, aunties, uncles, and everything. It was kind of
basically seed
yeah,
right?
yeah. So that was kind of our investment there, and I feel that helped a lot because when you see support around you, you feel more motivated to do stuff. Yeah, exactly. So that was one very good thing, and that was our basic level funding. Now I'll get to what we've been doing for the last year. So we have our own donations in Milaf, right? We focus on crowdfunding because society is one of the major factors that comes into how an NGO should operate and how it will be able to succeed in its plans, right? So what we do mainly in funding, we don't just take money because we feel funding comes in a lot of ways. You can fund your time, you can fund exactly, and you can always fund a lot of things that you may not require and you may not value to people who actually value it. So I believe we already ran a donation for collecting books, for collecting stationery, which kind of helps orphanages to use these resources which we don't value in our day-to-day lives. But I feel that orphanages, they always strive on kind of getting help through NGOs because government funds sometimes don't suffice. So I think society really helps a great way, and that's the main part of funding we do in ROG. Crowdfunding goes a long way. We also accept personal donors.
Sorry, I think sorry, but like I think we're straying away a little. But like our main objective of funding is to be able to celebrate these birthdays, right? Though we actually get funding in sorts of books and donations of stationery, etc. Our main objective is funding for the celebration of birthdays. And For example, we would also ameliorate the surroundings of the orphanage while celebrating their birthdays. Like, so we go for a cause, and we also buy them stuff like geysers and fans to be able to improve their
Living
surroundings and
conditions,
living
yeah.
conditions. So that's one thing that we do along with celebrating the birthdays, but that's our main objective.
So you're basically improving their life, but also giving them that birthday celebration.
Yeah, because we don't want them to feel like we're going to help you for a day. It's more of a support that we give in the holistic development so that a person can grow along the way with the help of another person, right? Because I think when you don't have the help of anyone around you, the most of the help you can get is through external help, and we want to be that external help. So we want to be the catalyst of change, if I put it very briefly.
So I actually have one question on my head. Um, how exactly do you like look for such orphanages, or how do you select your orphanage or orphan children?
How do you select your region of activity?
Yeah.
So our major orphanages that we currently cater to are through a database that we have created. So through the years, we've created a database, and we have a list of orphanages that we've collaborated with. But at the start,
At the start, I remember we both going in a room and thinking this orphanage might require funds. We called them, they agreed. Then they were like, we require this and this items. And what we used to do at the start is we used to make out a like sheet of those items in an Excel, and then kind of see how much it costs us. Do we have enough funds? Can we exactly what kind of factors would come into it? And then we used to give those funds to them. But that was the starting phase. Now, as Bhargav mentioned, we use smart work and we made a database, and we're kind of going through with whatever orphanages we see on that database require funds, and these orphanages also have a way of connecting through us through our social media platform. We also provide our numbers, obviously. So
Since you celebrate children's birthdays, which is of course a wonderful special occasion, is there any particular incident or birthday celebration that sticks with you, which is your driving factor?
definitely.
Yeah.
So definitely, I would say there was this one time when we went ahead and celebrated the birthday, and there was this one kid who approached me, and then she fed me cake. Right, that was a really good moment, and that's when I thought we are doing this for a really good cause.
You
And I
felt
think
that appreciation.
yeah. And it's not about that appreciation itself, it's about that reflection that you are catering to the society, and it's for the good of the society, not for your own personal benefit.
actually, one of my most memorable experiences was on our first event, because this was very new to me at that point. We were kind of figuring our way through, and I remember we went to this orphanage. There were around 20 plus kids there, and we were celebrating the birthday of say 8 to 9 kids at one go. But what we saw there was when we gifted them stuff, there was like that 1 second of happiness in their face that was very lovely. But also, I remember we gifted them a foosball table. They set that up with such joy. I felt that, damn, this is something I want to continue, because it's like, I don't know, we don't appreciate stuff enough in our lives. But when you donate to others, I think you see that thing happening, which I feel our society really needs to get into. Being able to appreciate what you donate rather than the material value of that asset is very important. And I remember, so we were playing foosball with these kids. There were 6 of us on each side. We lost, no matter, because the talent was quite lacking there. But I remember the laughter. So everyone there was excited because they hadn't seen a foosball table before, and the orphanages like were very grateful to receive this. Plus, I remember we went on another visit there just for like a routine checkup, as you said, because
They do remember your faces.
and the second we went in there, they were like again happy. They thought we had got them another gift. This time though, we wanted to supply to more basic needs. Obviously, not our main objective, but that day of foosball really stuck to me. It was kind of
It's these kids and these memories that pushes you to. So this is quite inspiring. So how do you like? This is more marketing. How do you inspire society to be giving back to something? Like you are on the ground, you're seeing all this, you receive the appreciations, but you also see the struggle that these kids are going through. But how do you try to convince society? Because as you said, you depend on donations, right?
So I think that society always looks for accolades, right? and the number of birthdays you've celebrated.
Yeah.
So don't want to get too much into figures, but like at the moment we've celebrated 100 plus birthdays.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and those figures talk about it. And number two, we've also gotten recognition from the Honorable President of India.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
I
wonderful.
went and met with her personally. So she gave, very good advice, and stuff like this actually gives motivation for the society to actually come and chip in. And reflecting on my journey, and especially at my meeting with the Honorable President of India, she gave one really good advice.
Okay.
She said, "Unko kabil banao."
Fair.
So basically, make them self-sustainable.
Make them capable.
Yeah, make them capable. That's when we thought of alternating. I mean, while our main primary goal is celebrating birthdays and
This
catering
is-
to emotional well-being.
This is when we took
Our-
up kind of, developing on a more basic level by providing them with basic goods and stuff.
Yeah,
So
and,
that-
and even capacity building and career counseling that we hope to extend through Inspire India's collaboration.
So that's more like your long-term development and emotional goal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's actually an amazing initiative, I personally feel.
Thank you.
It really helps. I think, we often fail to understand that we are really privileged with the education we have, with the privileges and, extracurricular, whatever we have. For example, even this very podcast here,
Exactly.
both of you are in 12th grade, and I think both of us are in first year college. So we are barely, not even 20 yet. And I think us being able to cater to needs like this is an amazing
Is
initiative.
something
then.
society even needs to look forward to,
Exactly.
because just building citizens isn't enough. Building
Exactly.
responsible
Good
citizens
citizens.
is what you should look for.
Right.
Plus, India is a developing country, so developing like this is probably the most sustainable way.
Yeah.
Also, about the support that we get, I think from my personal experience, we went to Prestige Phones, and there I think we got 20 more volunteers in a single day, because we try to raise funds, but primarily we were looking for people who want to bring about a change. So we made pamphlets and stuff, and we were distributing them. This was around Durga Puja time, again same time of the year right now. We're probably planning something like that, but basically what we looked forward to is getting more people to kind of invest themselves in a cause like this. Even though we did end up getting a lot of funds, our main help comes through human. So if you want to, please volunteer to
Yeah,
us,
definitely.
please go to www.rogifoundation.com. Anyway, that's pretty much how we gather help, but donation is just one extent. Giving your own personal time is where the real change comes in. So
What I've caught of this conversation is that we are privileged enough to have the basic necessities and everything. But when you're actually looking at children who are not able to access such stuff, and you're able to provide this, you start to appreciate even the smallest thing, like even a football. It seems so insignificant for us, but to them it's a childhood and it's a collection of memories. So it's quite
Very
wonderful.
true, yeah.
So currently, in which region do you operate, and do you plan to expand into other regions and cities?
So
Yeah, or like, maybe another question that I had is, other than birthdays, how do you think that, you could offer in the development of an orphan child?
I'll take up on that question by answering the first part. The regions of operations, he's better at answering because he organizes this.
So basically, we collaborated with other NGOs. There's Lumina Foundation, and there's Inspire India, of course, and there's POSO, Girl Up, and lot more foundations. So these provide us the motive to actually expand to other places. At the moment, we're present in Bengaluru and Dhanbad, and recently we've opened up a franchisee in Haridwar. So we are celebrating birthdays in these particular locations to actually expand our reach, right, and make this cause known to people across India.
Yeah.
So that it becomes an all India thing, and it becomes a common affair of celebrating their birthdays instead of yours.
Yeah.
And this reach and expansion, I think, is possible via LinkedIn. So we created a LinkedIn page and expanded our reach. So there was this guy called Sagnik. He's our project execution lead right now,
Okay.
and he's working, and he's stationed in Dhanbad right now. So we have
operations.
So we have people across India, right, who want to work towards this, just like Inspire India. So yeah, we're looking for expansion strategies towards other parts of India as well to be able to actually celebrate the birthdays.
But kind of adding to that, the reason when you expand, I think the most like, I don't know, enjoyable thing about all of it is when you hear about stories from throughout India, you can only confine yourself to probably Bangalore, Dhanbad, and Haridwar. But there's so many people out there that need help, right? And when you get to hear about those stories that require your help, I think that gives you the most emotional and motivating factor towards developing. I think that's pretty much where we're looking to expand and answering your question, how we cater to basic needs, right? So, how we cater to basic needs is very simple. We hold fundraisers, we take donations first. And donations come in three forms. We take either money donations, we take volunteer donations, or as I said before, we take basic needs donations. Basically, it can range from food, it can range from clothing, it can range even to books and pencils, right? So this kind of provides a very good base towards providing the main things required. Also, a main thing we do along with this is fundraisers, where our main monetary funds come into. Just the I think 2 months ago, not even 2 months, 1 month ago, we organized a very good football tournament, which kind of offered which kind of offered us a space to connect with more people, to kind of get more people into this thing, and also get people to know about this, right? I think that is something that kind of elevates the whole experience of the NGO, and it gets more people into it because football is something many people connect to. Second most popular. Exactly. Exactly. Second, even when I spoke to you in these 15 to 20 minutes, I mentioned football once. So, right? So, in what happens is when you connect to people on things they already know and have interest about, you get more people to invest themselves in this cause. So these two factors kind of help us to cater to basic needs, and basic needs literally include, like as you said, geysers, fans, because we forget that the things we take for granted are the basic needs of many. Today, we're sitting here and having this conversation in a room. Many people don't have a lot of things. Exactly, shelter being one of the most important things. Coffee, water, food. I say even the clothes we're wearing. That becomes an integral part in many people's lives. All right, and the device you're filming on. A lot of people don't have these necessities, and necessities are obviously determined by the situation you're in. But the basic necessities, food, shelter, and clothing, we cater to these three. We felt that birthdays are all well and good, but how do you make yourself more useful to society, right? Birthdays provide satisfaction to the kids, but the basic needs provide satisfaction to not only the orphanages, not only to the kids, but also to the nation as a whole.
So it's
And
more like a community
exactly.
setup rather than
Exactly.
just individual effort.
Yeah, because
And
that
guys,
doesn't
if you all think you're in another city which we are not a part of and you can contribute, reach out to us ASAP.
And
Exactly.
furthermore, adding to his comments, I would say our expansion strategy also involves a donation fundraiser plan. So we're planning on pitching an MUN, right? So basically, this would be our first politics, team politics with Inspire India, which would bring in these teens to be able to talk about such causes like underrepresented orphans, etc., in an MUN, right?
Yeah.
In a
And I think an MUN is probably the best place where you want to talk about society.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think, I've been running for quite a few years now,
Exactly.
and in my personal experience, I've noticed a lot of teenagers and even students of seventh grade and eighth grade who actually look into the root cause of any problem and then come up with such amazing solutions. And I think we will be able to understand, how we can develop our method of operations or anything as such, through the ideas these
Exactly.
kids have, and
So-
they are amazing.
Yeah. So it acts as a way of spreading knowledge about Arogi as well as a fundraiser, right? Coupling both two in one.
Plus, it's like, imagine today I have a platform where I can express my views on a certain topic, right? So, orphanages are a very small topic in today's generation. There are a lot of problems we can't address, but a MUN provides platforms. So, that's why I thought like Arogi is probably very beneficial to organize a month for people because it kind of offers you a platform to speak about what you think about society.
Do you feel in a way that this money could lead to development of a new idea that you could inculcate into your working?
We actually come through new ideas every day. Like just today, we've been organizing this month, right? We want to make up a month, so we're kind of trying to figure out our way what happens in an NGO basically every day. And I think new ideas are very easy to come across because you're exploring at this point. You're practically settled, but you want to go to greater heights, help society on a greater level. So I think on grassroots levels, I think new ideas just come to us every day. But MUN is obviously a very good platform.
So do you think schools or colleges can help you achieve this in any way? Or you can build a
Definitely.
community?
Yeah. So we've been pitching to many schools to be able to conduct a small workshop talking about how these programs actually impact students in their young
And I
lives.
think the major thing how we're incorporating schools, colleges to kind of be invested in this cause is in two methods. First, we kind of try to organize whatever we can in these schools and colleges because it builds a greater sense of awareness. Like, say, this month, for example, we've been thinking about hosting it in a school rather than a hotel because it makes more sense in that sense because it helps society. Plus, your new society is where the knowledge is, right? It's going to be placed at your schools and colleges where
Right.
new citizens are coming up.
Yeah.
But obviously, we're still tackling that issue. We don't know where our locations will be.
Yeah.
But I think the main thing, as you said, workshops are a very great way. So we kind of try to encourage schools to allow new speakers like us to go and speak and kind of encourage new audiences to get invested in this cause.
From this, I'm picking up that you guys are very involved with the teenagers and the youngsters.
Yeah.
So, what is the age group of your volunteers? Like, is it just teenagers, or like, is like other parts of society becoming aware about this and joining your cause on a daily basis?
So at the moment, I would say the youth, they're taking part in our foundation. But like we're definitely open to people, advisors especially who are
Yeah.
in the 30s, etc., who are willing to commit to the cause.
And we
So
actually
I would
have
say that
2 to 3 people like that also
Yeah.
because
That's
LinkedIn
super.
LinkedIn offers a more experience into your
Yeah.
more wiser ages, while Instagram is a area where you can connect with the fun and energy youth. So that's like a good mix and match there.
I would say that age is just a number, but like we have really experienced people. People who have worked in Rotary Club are tied up with us. So they give us wonderful advice to actually go ahead and build our foundation into the better
Experience is key in this kind of a field. It's like an NGO is very much dependent on people's experience because you need people who are experienced in this field.
People who know this and that.
Yes, because it's like a tried and tested method. So everyone wants to succeed. So I think an NGO obviously doesn't want to go through a rat race. It's more of exploring your own way
waste
through.
of funds.
Exactly. It's more of an exploration, but it's always helpful to have people who have more experience in your team because they'll give you the easiest option to reach a certain destination.
Since you guys brought up LinkedIn, and previously I mentioned that you guys do career counseling as well, could you speak a bit more about that?
So basically, LinkedIn is a wonderful platform, right, for collaborations and stuff. So career counseling is something that's very essential for these kids because they have wonderful goals, big goals like us too, but they fall out. I mean, they lack because of the factor of monetary issues. So we, by giving them career counseling, show them paths in which they can be their best self and represent their ideas better in a low cost in a more cost effective manner, right? So we're contacting universities for that who actually do some research on this, and they can be able to give good advice for these kids since they're underrepresented and there's a monetary issue anyway.
And coming to career counseling, the reason we have an opportunity to do career counseling is mainly because we also teach the children. So we have educators like our teachers, more professionalized teachers to kind of provide proper education. So career counseling really helps you go to the next stage where you can kind of establish a career in a field that you really like. And I think offering this to people with a more economical lacking is what is really required in society. Plus, career counseling is a great way to kind of discover what you want to do in the future. I personally did career counseling, and I felt it's a very easy way to explore your way in life. You can get a more clear idea on where you'll be in the next 10 years. Answering the question where you'll be in the next 10 years, it's become much easier.
So it's more like how you're able to help not only underprivileged children, but other peers of our age as well, and talk to them as a friend or understand what exactly do they want to explore.
Exactly.
Or let's say, at some point I was really interested in photography and filmmaking, but then I gradually shifted more towards flying. So I think something I lacked in my time was career counseling, and making that more approachable and simpler is an amazing thing y'all are doing.
Yeah, and especially in this day and age when there's so many opportunities and courses, you're quite confused because you have a set of talents which cater to different careers, but you're quite confused about what to go into. So that's quite a wonderful idea.
Yeah, and like even if people are picking one segment, for example, let's say commerce, there are like almost
there's
110
so many
plus
courses.
courses in commerce. It took me almost a week to figure out what course I want to apply for college, but
It's basically
yeah.
kind of finding your ikigai.
Yeah.
Yes,
definitely.
yes.
And I'm also working on this one project where I would actually find a career counseling bot using AI
Okay.
that can understand the necessities of these underrepresented students. It's particularly aimed at that.
Okay.
So I would be completing that and soon be publishing it with Arogi itself.
That's
So working on that seriously right now so that we can get it. Yeah.
So I just had a quick question actually. Now talking about ROVs, specifically the orphan children, is there any provision where these underprivileged members of a society have any sort of facility, or where they can explore their fields of work or maybe upskill themselves to get employment, or just be self-sustainable in future?
So definitely we're looking towards Inspire India. At the moment we haven't done such sort of things, but we're looking towards Inspire India because I had a good conversation with Siddhant, and we will be collaborating on stuff like that to actually give them that experience, right? So definitely
We
Inspire
want to
India.
offer a more of a space where you can explore what you want to while we back you up. But that's something I feel a little more into the future years, and that's more of a future plan because right now I don't think we're mature enough to help these children find their way. But I would say giving them the opportunities to find their way is what we're currently doing.
Yeah.
Since you just mentioned your future plans, is there any other projects that you're coming up with?
Yeah, definitely. So this, I guess we've already covered the career counseling part, but capacity building is something that we are looking forward to. So we would be bringing in these courses like soft skills with Inspire India, of course, to these kids, basically orphanages, and make them understand that it is essential to have skills such as soft skills, and we'll try to make it multilingual because majority of the orphans are multilingual. Yeah.
Adding to that, basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to inculcate a set of skills that society deems to be very important, like spoken skills. Probably if you're into a certain field, coding skills, which I think we both have already tried to explore, and we're kind of exploring that track as well. And these kind of set of skills will kind of help an individual explore more career opportunities, because when you have great linguistics, it becomes much easier to communicate your ideas, because a person who has a lot of ideas but cannot communicate them as well struggles a lot. So we feel that spoken skills are something that are very important.
So do you think businesses or certain communities, let's say of different segments such as artistry or social skills, or could be whatever, coding, filming, etc., do you think these communities could contribute in any way, or they could collaborate with us to upskill these?
So our cause is so unique that we have tried to approach NGOs, but it is difficult to match ideas because it's quite unique that it was not available anywhere earlier to us. And another thing is that we as an NGO would like to grow, and businesses supporting us would be a wonderful idea, right? Through the CSR initiative. And though some businesses are self-centered for the CSR, etc., I feel like it would be a great way to actually approach and reach the public to give our cause and promote our cause. So anyone who's out there who wants to support us or like collaborate with us, we are definitely open to businesses or community, etc. So yeah.
One more thing, I'll just add to what you
Yes.
said. So, answering your question a little more on the grassroots level, what we've been trying to do is get a lot of companies to invest in us. So, I think we succeeded in a little bit of a grassroots level when we went to companies and asked them to help us. But I think it's again society's role there, because when companies are not aware about this, it becomes harder for them to believe a bunch of teenagers to invest. And I think going to these companies in itself is enlightening enough, because these companies get to know the cause, they have to research about this cause, and the research comes from society, by the way. So I think the easiest way to get companies to invest in us is by getting society to invest in us.
Fair.
I think we've had an amazing conversation so far. But one last question: what message would you like to give to the people who might be a little hesitant, or let's say slightly unsure, and they're not very sure if they want to get involved or contribute to the work? What message do you have for them?
So many people are usually skeptical when they're joining NGOs, right?
Yeah.
Because I've known a lot of NGOs which are scamming people, I would say.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Heard of them a
So
lot.
yeah, so definitely we are a genuine NGO because we're run by teenagers and we do not have such intentions, right? And I can assure you that it's a very good community where people can collaborate and have fun while collaborating and give back to the community as well. So I would say don't be skeptical, guys. It's all out there, like whatever you want to see. And our fundraising platform is also by an established organization, that's Mila. So we do not have any secrecies, etc. And it would be fun if you guys come in and collaborate. A lot of volunteers are having fun, going and celebrating the events, etc. And all that boils down is to the smile that you see on the face of these children, right? Definitely that's what we are working towards, and I think we should give a particular, I think we should contribute for that one particular cause at least.
One more thing, if you feel that you're unsure about joining our NGO, just remember this one thing, that imagine in your life you contributed to the life of one orphan who ended up making it big. So imagine the gratitude he'll have, or he or she will have, for you in the future. Imagine the immense pride you'll feel in that feeling when you ended up giving the opportunities to one person who succeeded because of you. Imagine how it'll feel when you've given one single soul the chance to succeed. And it need not be one, because we at Arogi provide numerous opportunities for you to collaborate with orphans, also getting to know them better and kind of getting to know how the real world operates.
This has been a wonderful conversation. Thank you for your time. And we got to learn so much about Arogi. How you celebrate children's birthdays, how you give back to society, how you inspire society, and the emotions and the entire mindset of Arogi. It's such a wonderful organization. So we have truly been inspired, and that's our job, to inspire India.
I feel this is the uniquest organization I've come across in my experience with interviewing a lot of different NGOs all this while. And you all have an extremely unique cause and initiative to work up to. So, guys, do join Arogi ASAP.
Yeah, all the best in your venture, and do follow their socials. As they said, you can give back in time, in money, in effort, whatever you can. Do give to Arogi, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Also, remember www.arogifoundation.com.
ROGfoundation.com.